What's up guys, welcome back to David's feed. In this episode we're on Phuket Island catching the endemic pit viper, and we find one of the angriest venomous snakes we've ever seen. But that's not all, we also see loads of other cool snakes, including this incredibly beautiful one, so keep watching. Okay, quickly, before we get into the action, please drop the video a like. It really supports the channel and we appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Alright, so we've only arrived on Phuket Island a couple hours ago. We're already out in the forest. Tonight we're hoping to find the Pkuket Pit Viper, Trimeresurus phuketensis. It's a species endemic to the island of Phuket. You can't get them anywhere else. They're really beautiful, so I really hope we're going to find one. It's a species neither me nor Rupert have found before. So that would be really cool. Either way, we're probably going to see a bunch of other cool species too. It's a really good habitat. Can't wait to get off into the forest. Alright, so we've only been walking for a couple minutes so far. We've already got our first and second snake. This up here is a Asian vine snake, Ahaetulla prasina. We've already seen a couple of them on this trip. Really common species, so I'm not going to take him down. I'm just going to let it crawl off on its way. And if you look just a couple steps away from it over here, on a little branch across the path, we have a common mock viper, Psammodynastes pulverulentus. These are really neat little snakes. You don't see them too often, although they are pretty common. They are diurnal, and the reason they're called mock vipers is because they very much resemble a venomous viper species. You can see they have that elliptical vertical pupil, very viper-shaped head, but they're in reality just a small colubrid, which isn't related to a viper at all. They are rear-fanged and mildly venomous, but their venom isn't dangerous to people in any way whatsoever. It will just maybe like sting or itch a little. Really pretty ones. These are very variable in color. They come from like almost purple to completely black, and pretty much anything in between.
But this is probably the most common morph.
Yeah, it also depends on locality. Like up in central Thailand where I used to live, you would get a lot darker ones with like yellow checkering on the sides. These ones are very light brown. Haven't actually seen ones quite like this before. Really neat little snake though. They also, an interesting thing is, often when they're like out about their business hunting, they have round pupils, but vipers have vertical elliptical pupils. So when you like agitate them and when they feel threatened, they will actually adjust their pupils to become elliptical as a defense display to mimic a viper, which is really neat. Okay, just gonna put it back on this little blade of grass here. Let's go.
It was our aim to hunt for Phuket pit vipers around a hill stream. When we got there, it was quite steep and slippery, but the habitat was great. We were convinced that this was where we were going to find our target.
Alright, so I was just walking along the stream here and I've spotted a small green snake on the other side. It's pretty high up. I'm pretty sure it's a viper of some sort, and based on our location, it should be a Phuket Pit Viper, what we're looking for. So I'm gonna head over there right now and see if I can catch it.
So it's very, very steep, and the snake is up a branch, so...
The video doesn't show how difficult this was. David had to climb a steep dirt slope by clinging onto thorny branches, while trying to bend sticks in a way to get the snake low enough to catch. Getting it down took almost 10 minutes.
I don't have a hand. Hold on, I will in 2 seconds. Okay. There we go.
Okay, so we've just moved it a couple meters away from where we found it. There's a little dried up riverbed that forks off from the main one. It's a lot quieter here, better for filming. So, have a look at this. This is a beautiful female Pkuket Pit Viper. This is the species we were here to find. And so far she's been very grumpy. Probably one of the most grumpy vipers I've ever encountered anywhere. I mean, this one is like constantly focused on me. It was striking out quite a lot while carrying it here, also while catching it. You can tell that this one is a female because the pattern is very, very reduced. It's almost just plain green. The males are very vibrant with almost red stripes on it. Hopefully we're going to be able to find a male later at some point. We've still got a lot of time left tonight. It's only like, what, 9 p.m. right now? You can see she's very, very grumpy. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to handle her with my hands. She's extremely wary and grumpy, as you can see. Constantly striking at things that move. And I'm going to let her crawl onto this stick and see if I can get her with my hand. But she is very, very grumpy. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to handle her.
Off camera, David handed the leaf to me for a few seconds and it came about 1 millimeter away from getting its fangs into my finger.
There we go. This is perfect. Oh, look at that, like super grumpy. You see she is constantly striking, but what a beautiful snake. I really love that bright green. I saw it from really far away too. These, just like all of the other Trimeresurus species, are hemotoxic, causing a lot of pain and massive swelling, possibly necrosis. No fun. Nah, I'm not gonna risk it with this one. I really wonder, because this is the first one of the species I've ever found, if all of them are going to be this grumpy, if this species in general is just this defensive, or if this is just a super fired up individual. You can see she's super alert. Whenever I try to gently, secretly try to touch her, she just instantly notices and turns around. She never turns her back on me. I think this might be the first viper of the trip that I can't handle with my hands.
Yeah, I felt like in every video we filmed on this trip we were saying how docile the snakes were. Definitely not on this one.
Yeah, no, this one is super...
This is the most like, the most on edge I've felt like watching you handle a snake in a while.
Yeah, this is not a snake I'm gonna do too much stupid stuff with. Yeah, no. Nope. Alright, so, oh, that is really zoomed in. Alright, so I was just photographing the Viper and Rupert has disappeared, so I'm gonna have to film the release one-handed myself. Got the snake here. Still as defensive as ever. Really beautiful snake though. Really happy to have found this. I kind of lost my stick as well, so I'm gonna try to carefully... This is really a snake I have to be careful with. Okay. There we go. This is a bit sketchy, but I think I can carry it back to where I found it like this. I've got the leaf kind of shielding me. Not a very good shield though, I must say. Anyway, it's probably going to get a bit loud because I'm going to bring it right back to the same spot I found it. Probably going to fast forward right about now.
This is for sure one of the most intense sequences in any of our videos. David is trying to navigate extremely uneven and slippery waterfall terrain, all the while carrying a highly defensive Viper in one hand and a video camera in the other. I will not say anything more than do not ever try to replicate this.
I only just got here. Okay, so just as I finished getting all the way back to the spot, Rupert showed up. You found anything?
Yeah, I do. I actually caught a little, not so well-known snake, but a really, really cool one.
What is it?
It's a blunt-headed slug snake.
Okay. Well, let's release this green viper first. Okay, so we're back at the exact same spot we found it. It's still grumpy as ever. What an angry little snake. I'm just gonna put it,
Just back on that bamboo will do fine.
yeah, just right. Just gotten back to the spot where Rupert originally found the snake, which is a bit upstream from where I was. This is a very, very unique snake, and one that I've myself never seen in the wild before. I've seen a few captive ones back at a friend's house before. This is the blunt-headed slug snake. Very oddball species, and the only species in its genus. This one has a little bit of damage. He's quite a big old one. You can see he's got a bunch of like healed up broken bones here. Some weird deformities there. This one's been through a lot. But this is probably one of the most harmless snakes that you could find because they rely purely on camouflage to avoid being spotted by predators. They will like never, literally never bite. I've never heard of this snake even attempting to bite. Don't know if they even physically could bite because they're highly adapted to feeding on slugs and snails. Their jaws are like specially adapted to have like little hooked teeth on the lower jaw which they can use to pull snails from their shell. It's commonly believed that they feed exclusively on snails, but I'm not really sure about that myself. I suspect they might also eat like slugs or maybe even earthworms.
And they're one of the cutest snakes in the region, I think.
Definitely. They're just so obscure, unusual looking. I mean, in my hand you can see it, but when I put it onto this like branch over here, you can see the literal pattern of the snake just matches so well to this tree. It's ridiculous. Right, we've had to move it to a green branch where it kind of contrasts more because the camera was actually having trouble focusing on it, and we were just not getting any good video of it, so we've moved it here where you can see it a lot better. And you can see if I hold like a twig or something next to it, how much that resembles a stick. And this is the exact sort of habitat that they live in. They just live amongst like dry, dead twigs and stuff, and they hardly ever move. So they literally become like invisible.
That's really incredible.
Despite having found our target species already, we were committed to finding a male individual. We continued hiking up the stream for several hours longer, seeing lots of snakes along the way, such as mock vipers of different sizes and colours, vine snakes, and many of these common keeled slug snakes. We also saw another 4 Pkuket Pit Vipers, but they were all females. This huge one waiting in ambush beside a small stream was the highlight of the few. However, the longer we walked, the less likely it seemed that we'd find what we wanted. While it was cool to see all the females, we were absolutely determined not to come up empty-handed. So we ramped up the search and intensely scoured every likely microhabitat. Eventually, I hit the jackpot.
Okay guys, we've been walking for quite a lot longer now. After those females, we thought we might not end up finding a male, but sure enough, we've just found one. There's a really large male Pkuket Pit Viper, Trimeresurus phuketensis, just sitting on the leaf here, on the side of a path. He's probably just sitting on this leaf, waiting for like small geckos or tree frogs to jump and land near him, and he'll snatch them up. He's really beautiful. You can even see in between here he has some like blue pigment between the bands. I'm not sure if it comes out on camera really well. I'm gonna carefully see what his temperament is like. I think a large part of how a snake's temperament is towards you is based on how the first contact went. If you catch a snake really violently, scaring it a lot, it'll be like a lot more stressed throughout the handling session and be way more likely to be defensive. Whereas if you can manage to find one like this and gently pick it up, I think you should be a lot calmer. Let me see if I'm right. I could be wrong here. It's starting to get windy. Wow, what a gorgeous big male. I think this is about as big as the males get. The males stay quite a lot smaller and thinner than females do, as with most viper species. This one is absolutely gorgeous.
And just like you said, picking it up gently means it's far less defensive.
That's something I've noticed many times. If you catch the snake, or if the snake is really high up in a way that you can't gently scoop it up, and you have to like bend and break trees, that really frightens them and puts them in a whole bad energy for handling. Whereas if you can get them in a gentle way that they never get scared in the first place, that's the best way to do it. I'm just going to move him over here where I can squat. I feel a lot more comfortable in handling when I'm near the floor, so that if he does turn on me, I can quickly put him down at any moment.
Wow, I mean, you know what we mean now, so much more beautiful than the females.
Yeah, that banding is just really, really strong. Although, this one is actually, compared to some of the photos I've seen, not the brightest. I think this one may be nearing shed relatively soon. You can also see the scales on top of his head are a bit like glossy and shiny, and that's usually an indicator that he might be going into shed soon.
Also, older snakes are typically less colourful than younger ones, and like you said, this is really, really big for a male.
True. He's a lot more well behaved than that first female we found. She was absolutely crazy. But again, that was probably thanks to me having to break branches and scare her while catching her. These are generally overall a little more twitchy and wary than a lot of the other green vipers, but he is behaving quite well so far. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you guys, I'm just focusing 100% on the snake's body language, making sure that he's at ease.
I don't blame you for that. Just do your thing, man.
Here from this side you can see those really nice blue scales by my left hand, in between the bands. This has to be one of the prettiest snakes of the trip so far.
And yet again, it took us until the early hours of the morning.
That seems to be a reoccurring theme with all of our evening herp trips, that we seem to find the best thing last, and we're not just filming it this way for the video. And even on previous nights, we did tend to find the coolest things, usually right before we decide to call it a night. Oh man. I never knew how blue they were in between the scales. Right. Super awesome that we found... Oh! And off he goes, right back where we got him.
Woo! Awesome night.
What he'll do is he'll sit on these leaves at night, and I think during the day he will just come up and curl up deep inside this palm over here. And then every night he'll just come out and sit on his favorite spot and then keep going back during the day. Vipers are very territorial, meaning they usually, once they find an area that they like to live in that has a lot of prey, good habitat, good temperatures, they will usually stay in that area and not move around greatly. So a viper like this, I would imagine you can find him sitting on this exact leaf almost every single night.
And we didn't stress him out too much, so I'll expect to see him on this exact leaf another time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Really cool. Alright, it was really cool just seeing that. We've got a really long walk, it's super late, and it is starting to rain, so we're gonna pack the stuff up, head back down to our motorbike and get to the hotel as soon as possible. We've got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's up guys, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. We still got several more videos to come, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our weekly videos. Alright, peace.